Not that.
And if you're curious, on my current record, didn't mean to leave the camera on. My record is 19-36.
Well, if you inverted it, that'd be good.
How much do you use to, when you play? How much do you use to shift? Like, do you ever do any manual shifting?
No.
Is it just because you're against the shift?
I'm not against the shift.
No, I was asked. That was a question. That wasn't a statement. Are you for? See,
I just let the computer do the shifting, and it usually bites me.
Here's how I feel about shifting. Shifting is a part of the strategy of the game. I never want to see the shift banned. I don't mind if you banned the exaggerated shift. Like the idea of taking the third baseman and putting them behind the second baseman or something like where there's nobody on one side of the field. That's...
But I think that kind of stupidity should just be punishable by the batter. I mean...
You and I have talked about this more times than I agree with you. But they don't teach
That's what they did back in the day when they played real baseball.
Oh,
I know you agree, but...
But here's the thing. It's not so... I'm not taking a if you can't beat them, join them mentality. But you and I are never going to get what we want out of... Like we have the universal DH. I've said before, I would rather see the DH taken out of both leagues.
Because common sense will never prevail in the modern world.
Because I stand by the fact that, you know, if the pitchers absolutely knew they had to hit, guess what? They would practice it more. And yes, while they wouldn't be as good as like Edgar Martinez or Eddie Murray or some of the better guys that have been DHs, they would be more serviceable than what we've seen the last couple of years that made Major League Baseball say, okay, we need to ban the DH. Now, am I appreciative of the DH for extending the careers of Eddie Murray, Frank Thomas, Edgar Martinez, and a handful of others? Yes. So in a way, am I talking out of both sides of my ass and being a little bit of a hypocrite? Sure. I mean, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at least I can sit there and admit that I'm being a little hypocritical when it comes to the DH. Because I do.
And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would support a full roster expansion so that you can DH all 9 positions. Because then you're taking it to...
You want it to be more like football.
Level of football where you have an offensive team and a defensive team, and your elite players can and will play both.
Mm-hmm.
But, then, okay, let's say in current MLB, let's say you have a guy that never makes an error in the field, makes all the best plays, he saves you 15 runs a game just with his defense, right? But he can't hit more than one base hit every 15,000 at-bats. Are you going to have him in your lineup? Not as a starter. He might be a late-game defensive replacement, but he's not going to be your everyday whatever position player.
Yeah.
Just because you need the offense out of every position. The one exception where some teams might say, we'll take the hit on offense is catcher.
Good Lord, how are the Mets with their roster 24-32? That makes them in my game, in my franchise. It's the standings are scrolling through the bottom of my screen, and I saw the Mets are 24-32. It's like, with that roster, somebody need to be fired. I'm sorry, if the Mets right now are 24-32, I guarantee you, people be saying Buck Showalter shouldn't have been hired. He passed his prime. Because it ain't like they're hovering at 500 and, you know what I mean?
Amos rebranded his channel? Interesting.
Well, I know he rebranded his Twitter. He's no longer, famous Amos.
Yeah. I know, and that's what I'm saying. He rebranded his streaming channel, too. That's interesting.
Yeah. Amos is an interesting guy.
Did I tell you I installed Unreal Engine on my laptop?
You told me you were installing. You didn't. Like the last time you mentioned it was installing, yes.
Ah, yeah. I finally got it installed and haven't messed with it yet, but I'm debating on whether to take my laptop with me to work tomorrow so that I can toy around with it while I'm sitting there wasting away for 11 hours or what.
Well, so when I went to Mattress Warehouse to the day I picked out my mattress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their little showroom, just the one lady in there, and I'm sitting there thinking, I wonder if this is what a day in the life of Frog is like. Like, cause me, my mom, and my mom's cousin were the only ones in there.
Oh my gosh, you did that to them? Took 3 people in for one buy? Ouch.
Sorry.
So yeah, one thing most people don't realize is every person that comes through the door gets counted, and we're expected to sell to at least a third of them.
Well, you did. You sold to me.
Yeah, but ideally they want you to hit 100%, which they know that's not going to happen. But basically, they figure at best you're going to hit 50%.
Did you see that stat that they added you to that our MLB conversation chat, right?
I don't know.
On the DM on Twitter?
I don't know. It's just, I'm not trying to be facetious or anything. I don't know. I don't pay attention to all that jazz.
You don't pay attention to the Utah Jazz?
Or the Chisholm Jazz.
Oh, I like the Chisholm Jazz.
What would it be under?
It was just MLB conversation. If you're not at it, I'm going to add you because we talked about adding. We said we were going to add you when you were in our Discord the other one time.
Yeah, that Discord's not very active either usually. So I mean, I check it occasionally, but there's not always a lot there.
Well, it was weird. Like Amos said to you, just pop in. If I see anybody pop in, I'll stop in. Like, but I'm not gonna sit in there on the off chance he may stop by. Like if you
Right.
like if you want to chat, text me and say Discord, and I'll be like, sure. But I'm not gonna just sit in there on the off chance you might stop by. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like that scene from, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie American President.
No, not that I know of.
So Michael Douglas, the character, he's plays the president in the movie. He wants to stop it, or he's in the limo with the motorcade. Wants to stop and at a florist and get his girlfriend flowers, right?
Mhm.
And his assistant's like, there'll be no popping. You can't just pop out and get flowers. And the president's like, what do you think? Well, there's a florist planning an assassination on the off chance I might stop by. No. We're going over. Yeah, just in case the president stops by our flower shop, let's.
Well, I wonder if they're gonna call for bicycle control after recent events. You know.
Wow, what happened?
Like you didn't see? Oh my gosh.
Nope, I did not see.
Oh man. So our president, in all of his glory, fell off of a bicycle after he stopped pedaling. Well, he was riding a bike, stopped, and then, fell off of it after he came to a stop.
There, now you've officially been added to our MLB conversation chat.
Oh boy.
I can take you out of it if you're not interested.
Oh, I'm sure there's a way to remove myself if I'm not interested, but it's good. Okay for now. We'll just see what happens with it.
Do what I do. Just I mute my DMs and I just periodically check the ones I want to check. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facing a former Oriole, Asher Wojciechowski. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Time to get a copy strike again.
Can they really copy strike you for singing music?
I think so.
So if I'm sitting here on my stream, me singing a song, not playing the music in the background, singing with the song.
As far as I know, they can. Yes, as far as I know, they can. Will they? I doubt it, but
that's
as far
stupid.
as I know, they absolutely can.
Now I can.
Yes, the DMCA is stupid. I completely agree.
Now I can understand if I'm playing music in the background, you can hear it, and it's
that has nothing to do with it. That actually, that's less likely to get copyright struck than you singing it. Believe it or not. No, obviously it depends on how loud you can hear it, but it's just, yeah, it's crazy. Now, you know what's even more crazy? If I wanted to, even though you have my permission to broadcast my voice and anything, I could copyright strike you.
Even though I say to you every time I start my stream.
Yes, and even though I give you permission to use my voice on your stream, I could copyright strike you.
But then I would just go back and say, I asked him and you heard me ask him in the beginning.
Oh, I know. And that's what I'm saying. That's how stupid the DMCA is and the way companies respond to it is. Because if I went to you, like, I could even if I wasn't part of your stream, I could still copyright strike you just as a malicious act. Now, of course, that could get me banned from YouTube, but like, what?
You don't even like YouTube. What do you?
Right. Well, and the thing is, okay, I could do it with an account that doesn't matter to me, from an IP that I don't normally use, and okay, they could IP ban and freaking account ban that IP and that account, and I wouldn't even care. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I still don't like the fact that they banned that one streamer I watched just because he ran an ad for a third-party stub selling site.
YouTube didn't ban them.
No, I'm talking about MLB The Show. I'm talking about Sony San Diego.
I think that's great that Sony did that.
Oh, I'm sorry, San Diego Studios. They're not Sony San Diego anymore.
Well, yeah. SDS. Same initials still. But yeah, I think it's great that they did that because it shows a serious hatred for the third-party sellers.
Okay,
however,
but now, how do you feel about the fact that, like, so he got banned on the PlayStation, so he literally went and bought an Xbox.
Which is circumventing the ban, which is a bannable offense. So they did the right thing by banning him again. He's the one that chose to try and circumvent the ban.
I know. I'm not. Don't think I'm sitting here. I'm not defending him. I just.
Right, and I know that, and that's the thing. Like, okay, let's say you steal a candy bar from Walmart, right?
Mm-hmm.
They, for the most part, really don't care, but they're going to stop you eventually if you keep doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's say you get caught, you get arrested, you get shoplifting, or you get caught, and they call the cops. You're facing a shoplifting charge, but you decide you're going to run from the cops because, I can't go to jail.
Resisting arrest. Well, all of a sudden you're in it.
Right, now you're facing more penalties because you were stupid enough to try and avoid facing the first penalty. So, it's that same concept with, like, trying to circumvent a ban. It's like, okay, now you're trying to evade justice, so now we're going to throw more at you.
But I do think it's kind of hypocritical. We're not letting you play anything online. Like, he has access to Diamond Dynasty. He can play Conquest maps. He can play mini seasons, whatnot. Right?
Okay.
But yet, we'll still give you access to the market. So if you want to spend money on the game, feel free.
Yeah.
Like, to me, if you really want to penalize the guy, or not necessarily this guy, just don't give him access to the market.
Yes, but that hurts the market then, potentially.
Mountain Castle. I like it when I get the no doubt thing over the new wall.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend of mine went and sat out there on the front row. He said the view is phenomenal.
Yeah?
431. That was the problem with Asher when he was with the Orioles. He gave up a lot of home runs. He's a player that we have in common. I'm pretty sure he played for the Twins too, or the Pirates too.
Asher?
Asher Wojciechowski.
Oh, Wojciechowski? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe like one season or something.
Yeah, I don't think he was with the Pirates for long, but I think, matter of fact, we may have gotten him from the Pirates.
It's possible. I mean, to be fair, the Pirates get rid of like everybody. Like they don't really keep anybody.
Yeah, I mean, before he ended up with the Blue Jays, both the Orioles and the Pirates gave up on Jose Bautista.
Yeah. What gets me though is like you could hit 700 home runs in one season, and the Pirates will trade you away for cash. It's like, what?
So are the Pirates who you like? Because you explained the dynamic of how far you live from each team. Like, who is your home team broadcast? Is it the Pirates? Is it the Phillies?
I think technically, if you went off of local television, it would be the Phillies. However, I get AT&T, so I have AT&T Sportsnet Pittsburgh. So
Gotcha.
I can watch the Pirates.
2 home runs in that inning by Mountcastle and Rushman.
Not that I do watch the Pirates because they're not really watch-worthy, but
See, now ownership would flip it around and say the reason we're not competitive is because of fans like you, not you. I'm not saying you specifically. I mean, because you could say the same about the other Orioles. If we could get anybody to come out and watch this team, we'd be able to afford better players.
oh, there's no way I could afford to go to PNC Park just because of how far away it is, but I've never gone to a game at PNC Park. I was on the field at Three Rivers, though, as a kid.
Shagging balls.
Nope. Ceremonial first pitch.
Cool. How'd you manage that?
Yeah, I wasn't alone. It was every kid in like
Little
the
League?
Western PA region that won their school's fundraising contest.
Did you bounce it to the plate?
We didn't throw it to the plate. It was interesting because like there was like a dozen of us or something like that, so we were all like lined up around the infield, and we just threw it to our parent.
Oh.
It was cool though. I can't remember if it was like one of the early interleague games or what, but you know, it was cool.
I wish there was an actual way to rebuild confidence or give your pitcher a confidence boost.
There is, but there isn't.
I know, the mound visibility.
No. Just keep hitting the strike zone, and so the confidence, you can build it by, constantly hitting the strike zone and constantly getting outs. Good results from the pitching at bats.
I've seen some people suggest it's best for franchise mode to take off the confidence meter or turn it off. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, though.
I don't think it helps the immersion or realism or anything, but
well, he thinks I saw a guy on YouTube trying to say it's more realistic to have it off, and I completely disagree with that. I mean, how can you, you're going to sit there and try to tell me after a pitcher gives up a home run, his confidence isn't shaken?
Some of the best ones, they aren't, but yeah, most of them, they give up a home run, they're going to be like, oh, I can't throw a pitch there again.
Yeah.
Or, it's at least going to weigh on their mind, whether it super affects them or not. Depends a lot on how good of a pitcher they are. But
I don't mind the overall pitch confidence meter, but I don't like the individual pitch confidence.
I like it.
I shouldn't call it pitch confidence, more like pitch effectiveness. Actually, now that I say it's more pitch effectiveness, it does make never mind. I just talked myself out of my own what I was. Oh, we all do that at times.
Oh, I know.
We all start to say something, and then you realize, oh, never mind.
Freaking bullcrap! Picked off Chisholm from second base, off of second base with a one-step leadoff. Stupid. That's one thing that I've wished that they would change for years on this game, is that the computer always picks you off perfectly all the time. It's like you breathe a thought of trying to steal the base, and oh, you're picked off.
See, now circle back to wrestling for a second. Talk about, I agree with you. Let me preface what I'm about to say with, I agree with you. I really enjoyed Brock's last run. I'm not necessarily sad that he's back, but how are we as wrestling fans supposed to invest on any of the guys and gals that are there week in, week out, when, oh, you're coming into SummerSlam after Money in the Bank, but it's not a guy like a Damian Priest or, somebody that's there all the time. Oh,
yeah.
It's Brock Lesnar again.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Brock was there almost every week in that last run. I get it. I get what you're saying. And I agree. And it's that's the thing. I think Riddle should have beat Reigns for the championship.
Realistically, do I think Brock is going to beat Roman at SummerSlam? No.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, because apparently they're not happy with Reigns' limited schedule, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
but from what I'm reading online, rather,
But you put the title on Brock, you don't think he's going to have a limited? I mean, he invented the limited schedule.
Yeah, but Brock's Brock. I mean,
but to be fair, Roman has earned a limited schedule.
Oh, he's earned a limited schedule, but how to put this?
When I read, and mind you, I don't believe everything I read on the internet when it comes to wrestling.
Right, me neither.
When I read that he's only scheduled for one Raw the entire summer, it's like, and the one Raw is the go-home show at Madison Square Garden before SummerSlam. It's like, all I thought when I read that was, if this was Brock, people would be pitching a fit, saying, why does he even have the title on him?
Well, I did recently read just a little snippet that apparently Stephanie does want to do big things as the interim CEO. Now,
But how much power? Like, how much power does an interim CEO really have? Especially when your father, who was the CEO, still in charge of creative.
Well, I mean, that's a great question, and that's one I don't know the answer to, but she is the chairwoman of the board right now, too, in addition to being CEO. So she's like, got full power for the most
I don't know
part.
about that. He stepped down as CEO. He didn't step down as chairman of the board.
Yeah, he did.
Are you sure?
I'm 99% sure.
I only saw step down as CEO. I didn't see anything about stepping down as chairman of the board. Although I guess he would have had to have stepped down as chairman of the board. If the board's investigating him, how can he be chairman of
Let's see. Now, I mean, obviously they could be wrong, but, Vince McMahon is stepping away from his roles as CEO and chairman of the WWE Board of Directors, according to Bleacher Report. Now, they could be wrong, but apparently in both positions, Stephanie is replacing him on an interim basis.
But that's my point, though. Like, forget about WWE. Just with any company, when you're an interim CEO or whatever, you don't necessarily have all the power that comes with that title. Like,
can the rest of the board agrees with you, though?
Like, if she wanted to, could she fire Nick Khan tomorrow? I don't know.
So the thing with like companies that have a board, even the chairperson's not foolproof, safe, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So like usually, so let's say, just for example's sake, let's say Stephanie, Triple H, Shane, Linda, and 4 other people are part of the board, right? And they all agree that Stephanie needs removed as interim CEO. We need a permanent new CEO. And they name, just for example, Shane. Okay? Then they can also name him the new chair of the board, or they could name somebody else as new chair of the board. You can have 2 separate people in those 2 positions. The problem you run into if you do that is those 2 potentially butt heads all the time.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for the CEO to be the chair of the board, just because then you're not having the head of the board clash with the CEO all the time. Okay?
I got you.
That said, they're probably going to stick with CEO equals chairman or chairperson of the board structure, just because it makes sense. But they could have a meeting of the board, and everybody who's currently on the board agree to make Stephanie the permanent replacement.
Did
And there would be virtually nothing Vince could do about it.
were you watching WWE around the summer of Punk?
When he had the like so many days as champion, best in the world gimmick thing.
Well, when the summer of Punk started, like when he did the whole, I won the title on the night I was supposed to leave the company type, you know.
I seen some of it. I don't know if I watched all of it, but anyhow,
They actually removed Vince as chairman of the board as part of the storyline. If you ever get a chance, go back and watch that segment from Raw, because it was classic. Because people couldn't tell whether, like, Triple H sold the story so well, people couldn't tell whether it was storyline or whether it was real.
yeah.
Like, it was...
Well, that's the whole point of kayfabe, or kayfabe, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Is to, make the audience believe that it might be real.
Matter of fact, if you want, I'll send you the clip if you want.
Maybe you can at some point. I'm not going to check it out right now. I'm at the worst. I'm at what I would consider the worst ballpark in MLB.
Well, I'm going to assume that you're either talking about Tampa Bay or Oakland.
Oakland ain't that bad. It's just old.
So,
my
okay.
opinion.
So,
yeah.
Let's see. Give me a hint. National League or American League?
Well, it was the other one you named.
Oh, Tampa. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, here's my opinion on Tampa's quote-unquote ballpark. It's a warehouse with a baseball field in it.
My thing is, I have always held this opinion. Outdoor sports like baseball and football are not supposed to be played indoors.
I don't mind a retractable roof for like...
Exactly. I understand a retractable roof in an environment like Houston
or Arizona,
like Tampa, like Arizona, where
it gets ball like hot.
The conditions are more likely than not going to be unfavorable for play.
To be fair, having spent a lot of time in Florida, to be fair, if they weren't playing inside, just like Miami has a retractable roof, they'd get rained out a lot, or they'd have a lot of rain delays, because it rains almost every day in Florida.
Right, and that's why I understand the retractable roof. But that said, in real ballparks, they play in the rain, as long as it's not lightning.
Well, they play in, like, I mean, at a certain point, yes, yes.
Yeah, if it gets too bad, then they do a rain delay or a reschedule or whatever, but...
You're right, you don't just start feeling raindrops and say, oh, gotta stop playing.
I mean, I've seen them play in some fairly heavy rain.
So have I.
I've seen them play in the snow. Last year, Cabrera with the freaking snow home run. You know?
I remember that was in Baltimore.
And that's the thing. To me, that's what makes the outdoor sports great is the unpredictability of nature and what may or may not happen, wind and rain and such not. But I can understand having the retractable roof so that, if conditions are going to be too bad, you can maintain your schedule and play
Yeah.
inside for that particular day.
Now let me ask you a question
Like
though.
the Astrodome was a freaking abomination in my opinion, as far as like it wasn't a ballpark.
So let me ask you a question. When you say conditions, are you just talking about rain, or like if you
No, I mean
if
if
you're
it's
in
like
Arizona,
110 degrees,
okay,
then that's not
let's close the
realistic
roof and put the air conditioner
thing.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, nobody even wants to watch something in 100 and some degree heat, like that.
Yeah.
That's just
I was just curious what you were referring to as non-playable. I didn't know if you were just talking about rain.
extreme heat, extreme rain, snow, like, heavy snow,
Gotcha.
extreme winds even. Like if it's like 30-mile-an-hour winds, playing outside is going to be ridiculous compared to playing inside, you know. 30-mile-an-hour winds, you can probably still play indoors. Like, it's probably not an issue. But outside, that'd be crazy.
I got 3 errors in this game.
Oh, yeah?
And yes, I'm still doing that auto fielding.
Oh, well. Then you deserve twice as many errors as you got.
Ouch. You say that. What I hear is fuck you very much.
I mean, I don't know why you don't just turn on auto pitching and auto hitting, too.
Honestly, if they had an auto hitting, I might, because I hate hitting. It's almost like I want to just do manager mode, I tell you.
Well, that was kind of my point, is why not, like, just, you know, have the computer play the whole game. If you're gonna have them fielding and throwing, and
If you're watching my stream, I'm winning 5-3. Or if you're not watching my stream, I should say.
I have it on. I'm not closely paying attention, but I have it on to support you.
I always pay attention. It's the cheapest thing I ever have to pay for. It's free.
I can't afford it. I'm too broke.
Gotta buy too much gas.
You never heard that saying, I'm so poor I can't even afford to pay attention?
Yeah, I have. It's kind of like the one I jokingly say, I live in the constant state of confusion, no income tax. Did I hear, was it you that was saying somebody's, I can't remember if it was you or whether I heard it on a podcast or some kind of sports broadcast. Did they do away with, like, are we not going off of daylight saving time anymore? I literally thought I heard somebody say that the other day. Like, we're not going to be falling back, I guess, as they say.
There was something passed about it at some point. I don't think it takes effect this year, though. I think it takes effect next year.
Why the hell? What's the difference? Like, if you're going to do it, just do it.
I agree, but
it's above your pay grade, as my dad would say.
Exactly. It's one of those things, I didn't make the law or resolution or whatever it was that they passed. Because if I made it, I would have said, no, we're not staying on daylight savings time. We're getting rid of daylight savings time. It doesn't need to stay light until 9 p.m. in the summer. I mean, I realize people like it. Oh, I can come home and do stuff outside, because I work a 9 to 5. I'm special. Ha ha ha. But, you know.
That's going to make it hard for the Christmas time for, like, fire departments that do, like, the Santa Claus and the fire engine. It's going to be still daylight, and you'll be riding around Santa on the fire engine.
Well, I mean, the days get shorter in the winter anyhow, but...
Yeah.
But that's the thing. All daylight savings time has ever done has just shifted the hours of daylight by an hour. It never made the day longer. That's what summer does. So like I said, I would have got rid of the change altogether and just say you're sticking with standard time.
Come on, bullpen.
That bullpen is bull crap. They need to get their act in order here.
Oh, tie game.
You weren't supposed to let them tie it.
Yeah, tell me about it. Orioles bullpen has been so good in real life, especially the guy I have on the mound right now. But has MLB The Show given them any kind of boost to their ratings? No.
Well, even if they did, it wouldn't take effect in your franchise unless you did it manually.
Oh, I always upgrade and downgrade whatever Orioles get upgraded and downgraded on the.
Which that's what I'm waiting for quality franchise mode, is for it to get updated in real time with real life, the roster and everything. Not force it on you, but give you the option. Because I understand there are people that want to just run with their parallel universe, which makes perfect sense. But like, I would love to be able to just jump into the current year, well, the way it is, and like play along as the Pirates with like whatever changes they make in real life happening in my game.
Yeah.
But like, I could see them considering that like a completely separate game mode too, because to me it kind of is.
Well, you sort of had that in exhibition. You do have the option of playing like today's game live with the rosters that they have.
Right, but you don't have like a live season mode, which is really what I would want. It's not so much a franchise mode, but a live season mode. I want the old franchise mode where you could actually feel like you were in charge of the franchise.
Yeah.
Where you know, okay, well the team has to travel to from Baltimore to San Francisco. Are we gonna stick them on a bus? Or are we going to fly them over?
Oh yeah, I miss that stuff.
And hey, our field is deteriorating pretty good. You think we should
resod?
You know, think we should do a little treatment to it to try and fix it, or should we try and just completely replace it because it's getting pretty bad? Like, to me, that's meaningful decisions that, like, a real owner would make about his team of, like, okay, you know, this is something I have some control over. Let's do what's best for the team. Or, oh man, nobody's coming to the park. I know we're losing right now. How can we get more attendance? Because, you know, we're not making any money off of concession sales because nobody's coming to the park.
So lower ticket prices.
So let's do some free tickets or free parking or something to try and get people in the door, or give away some bobbleheads or something.
Yeah, I remember, like, actually going through the Orioles, real life Orioles promo schedule, and, like, I would pick out the days like they did in real life. You know, I may not be able to do the exact thing they're doing. Like,
Right.
it'd give me an option for a fireworks night, but I'd do a bobblehead night in replace of it.
Right.
Bullpen is going to blow me this game.
Well, and like I would always I would take my ballpark and I would expand the seating. I would put in extra concession stands. I would put in the kids zone, all that stuff, you know, because it's like, yeah, man, kids need fun.
You'd rebuild a monster wall in left field.
No, I mean like the stuff they gave us options for back in the day of, like, you know, a kids amusement section or whatever. I can't remember what they called it, like a kids zone or something. To cater to the younger kids.
I know what you're talking about.
I would always put that in.
I was up 5-3.
Yeah, but if you would have gave up 0 runs, you would have been up 5-0.
You're not funny.
Well, what I'm pointing out is there's a simple solution to your current problem. Stop giving up runs and you win.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm trying to get copyrighted again. realistically, having 3 errors, I probably didn't deserve to win this game. I'm probably lucky I was winning as long.
Yeah, but still sucks to blow a lead.
Yeah.
Oops. Now we're too slow. That's 9:30. Okay.
What do you gotta get ready to go?
Before too awful long. I haven't had dinner yet, so I need to go get that at some point here.
Yeah. Dinner is kind of impotent.
I'm ready to walk with Elias tomorrow, though.
I can't decide whether I want to walk with Elias or speak with Zeke.
I mean, Zeke's cool.